quo praecepto ab eis diligentissime observato, cum quaepiam cohors ex orbe excaeserat, atque impetum fecerat, hostes velocissime refugiebant. Okay, when we talk about chunking, the first thing I see on the reading is that we've got a comma here, and we've got an ablative something, a QU word here. So I'm thinking we probably got some sort of relative clause or ablative absolute or something like that over here. Let's see. Quo praecepto. Oh, here he goes again. Caesar is using those QU words as adjectival modifiers. So with which command sounds like an ablative absolute. Oh, prepositional phrase inside. Ab eis diligentissime is a boring adverb. Oh, and there is the ablative participle that goes with which command. So, with which command, having been observed very diligently by them. Well, who just gave a command? That would be Ambiorix, and he gave a command to his guys. So, the eis there refers, of course, to the people who are attacking the Romans. With which command, having been observed very diligently by those guys who are attacking the Romans. Cum, when, since, because, although, with. What information do we have to make that determination? Is there an ablative noun right after it? No. So it's probably not with, because with is a preposition that takes an ablative. So I'm going to go when, since, because-ish, something like that. Let's see. That's obviously a clause marker, and we're going to keep going. It's not a cum clause because we don't have any subjunctive verbs running around. So we'll just say it's just a boring when. When, adverb here, cohors, oh look, there is a nominative. And then ex urbe, prepositional phrase. Again, going in order. Oh, cohors excaeserat. So apparently when the cohors did this thing, and so maybe they're going to talk about more than one thing that goes with this cum. Oh, here it is, and made an attack. And we've got a comma here, so that's a really good place to end this clause. Again, we still don't have our main sentence. We started with an ablative absolute, then Caesar gave us another dependent clause that had two verbs inside. Now, finally, we get to the boring nuts and bolts part of our sentence. Hostes velocissime refugiebant. Of course, we've got a subject, adverb, and then the verb talking about what they did. So refugiebant is the main verb of sentence 1. Everything else is just fluff adding more information. That's a lot of fluff, Caesar. Interim eam partem nudare necesse erat, et ab latere aperto tela recipi. Okay, boring adverb. Meanwhile, eam partem. Okay, eam, of course, is demonstrative pronoun pointing to partem. Notice these guys are accusative, so I'm still waiting to get the rest of the information to see who the subject is and what's going on with that part. Nudari, passive infinitive. I wonder why it's an infinitive. Are we in an indirect statement? Is it a historical infinitive? Is it a complementary infinitive? Nudare necesse erat. Oh, it's infinitive because it's one of those, it is necessary to infinitive things, because necesse erat, it's treating it like a subject infinitive. It was necessary that eam partem nudari. So this whole idea talks about what was necessary, that this thing happened. Notice this is a passive infinitive. It was necessary that that part, i.e. of the orb, be left exposed, probably, when people from the orb were running out to go catch the barbarians who were running away. That's what happened to that part of the orb. And, oh, we've got a connector, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had another infinitive running around. We'll see. Oh, before we get there, prepositional phrase, something about the open side. Tela, those are weapons, spears, things that are being thrown at people. Recipi, another passive infinitive. So we have this passive infinitive and this passive infinitive, both of which are dependent upon necesse erat. It was necessary that this accusative thing be left exposed, and it was necessary that these things be received, again, passive infinitive, by the open exposed side. How do we know these are passive infinitives? Well, because you're super awesome Latin students and you know that usually infinitives end in RE and these are I's on the end, so those must be passive.